Do you wish you had more clarity on where your life is going, on what's going on in your life, or how to change it for the better? If you feel like you're struggling with what to do next, or if you feel like you're moving really, really, really fast, but with no direction, then this video is for you. You are not alone, friend. You, me, billions of other people, if not all of us, going through the same thing. And I just want to tell you what I'm doing to get more clarity and lead myself to success. And hopefully, you can use it to do the same for you. And the great thing is, the only thing that it requires, you probably have in your hand right now. So be sure to save this video for later. That way you can copy the strategy, come back to it, and then like fuel your own personal growth. So I'm down, your digital marketing friend. Let's just jump on in. Okay, so this new thing that I'm doing, um, I'm just gonna call it progress reports. So basically, what it is, I'll tell you a little bit about it, like how it'll help us both so you can copy it and do it for yourself. And if you stay until the end, I can tell you some of the lessons that I've learned from doing this. So, um yes, progress reports. So, basically what I'm doing is a I don't want to say weekly, but I want to do at minimum weekly. It could be more frequently, as often as possible. So if you do this, you could do it as often as possible. But what I'm going to do is just record what is going on, whether that's like a vlog style kind of thing, whether it's like an accountability meeting, whether it's like a rant, whether it's, trying to capture specific thoughts or what's going on for the week. I'm going to incorporate those into the progress report. Now, if you do this, you can absolutely, pick any one of these styles and, totally go for it. Switch it up, do it however you want. And I say that because I'm going to try to be structured when I'm doing these so you can kind of know what to expect. But also, I want to, you know, be mindful that I'm still learning and growing. So all of this is subject to change. And when and how that happens, I'll let you know as I go. And yeah, that's what I got. Okay, and then the one thing that you need is just your phone. So, of course, you would use your phone to record yourself, um, just talking through whatever it is you're doing, whatever kind of problems you're having, whatever, progress you're making towards whatever goals you're trying to reach. You could do all of that on your phone. And the great thing is, outside of recording that, you'll definitely need to do that. You can write everything that you need using just the Notes app on your phone. Um, you can write in bullet points. You can write full paragraphs, although I would not recommend that. Um, Writing in bullet points, I think, would definitely be helpful because it will keep you in the phrase of, or not in the phrase, keep you thinking about things and being comfortable speaking naturally and about a specific topic. So I would definitely recommend that. And then trying to read things word for word, pain in the butt, trust me. And then also this kind of documenting style of content or documenting style of doing things will help you make content faster and easier, and it'll be more documenting than making content, so it'll be more natural. And then the second thing is, once you look back and review what it is that you've recorded over the process you're doing or what problems you're having or what you're going through, you can see more clearly where you're at or what you would need to do next, because in a very real way, it's kind of, seeing yourself outside of yourself so you get the chance to take a step back, and if you considered what you would do if this person saying all these things were a good friend, or if they were a family member, what you would tell them to do. So you can kind of use that to help move yourself forward in life. And that's definitely what I'm going to do with it. Another great thing is this works for really anyone in any industry. This works for you if you don't have an industry, if you don't know exactly what to do next. This can definitely help. And it can help you um, reach whatever goals you have a lot faster. For me, for example, one of my current goals right now is to make 100 podcasts, like as as quick as possible. And this is going to definitely help me do that. All right, so some benefits. Why would you do this? Why would you make, your own progress reports, or why am I making these progress reports? I'll just go through with as many benefits as I got. So first, um, I think of it kind of like a digital diary, digital journal. So it'll be a great place to brain dump. It'll be a great place to plan strategies to, and honestly, to see how your thinking will grow, over time. If you are somebody who, oh, I like to journal for the clarity, but I don't always like to sit there and write or sit there and type. This will definitely help you out because odds are you can speak way faster than you can type, right? So give it a try. Another great thing is you have some flexibility, especially with the notes, the taking notes part. I mentioned that you can do it in the notes app of your phone, but you um, can do it really with almost any other app. So you can do this with Google Docs on your phone. You can do this with Notion on your phone. Um, yeah. And then, of course, like I said before, it's more convenient and quicker and easier than writing in an actual journal. Um, Another one, it's great to document and record. That way you can, again, review it later. It can be great to capture that knowledge, especially if you're learning things. Let's say you're taking a course in herbalism, which is, something I'm working on. I could record what I'm learning as I'm going. That way I could look back on it and A, not only teach myself, but B, record that knowledge. So even if I don't use it later, which I definitely will and review it later, I could give it to someone else. Um, I and you, we can both do these progress reports to, okay, create business success for ourselves. So if you are doing these pretty regularly, maybe you have a mentor or you can find a mentor through these, and that person seeing what you're going through, how you're thinking about things, they may be able to drop, I don't know, 2 or 3 lines or send you a DM or personally mentor you or just tell you what to do next or where to go. So that's great. And also, if you do put those thoughts out there. Let's say you record them and you put them on YouTube, for example. In addition to getting a mentor, you could also build a community. You could find friends or business partners. You can find people who think similarly to you. You could also use that to build an email list. If you're lost in life, this will help you do self reflection, can help you figure out what questions to ask if you're reviewing, what you're going through, what you're, listening to yourself back can have you thinking about, oh, well, maybe this isn't a great way to think about this. I should change my perspective and maybe ask a different question to get a better answer, you know? It can also help you figure out where you are in life, who you are. For example, doing these kind of helped me realize like, I'm kind of in season one of my YouTube journey, if that makes sense. I'm kind of in the seedling stage if you're a gardener, if you're an herbalist, if you're thinking about that. Um, that's kind of where I'm at in my journey. So being reflective in that way can help you figure that out. So for me, in where I'm at, I'm figuring that the best thing that I can do at the moment is to make as many videos doing this as many times as possible, as quick as I can. That way I can gain the experience and the knowledge. And if I'm trying to increase just a little bit from video to video, like I'm I'm 100 times better than when I started. Also, this can help you if you are someone who is struggling with consistency, if you're struggling with accountability, if you want to have more accountability, if you want to have more consistency. Doing this on a regular schedule can help you do that. And also, if you review the videos back and you realize, oh, I said I was going to do this thing last week and I didn't do that. It helps you hold yourself more accountable. Also, helps you to not feel alone. If you're a digital marketer, if you're a content creator, if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, a lot of the work that you do will kind of be, I don't know, siloed, depending on, what industry you're working in and networking and blah, blah, blah. But for a lot of time, a lot of your working hours will be, siloed alone, or at least that's what I found. So making these helps you to not feel so alone. And they also help not only to capture what you're thinking, but how you're thinking. So if you complain about something last week and you look back at it a week or two later and you can realize, oh, well, okay, well, maybe I need to change the way I'm thinking about this. Maybe I need to, be more grateful for XYZ, or maybe I need to mitigate this issue by doing ABC. So it can help you change your way of thinking about problems, about situations, even change your way of thinking about the way you think. So also, to give these to someone else. So, especially if you are learning something, if you're documenting something, and say someone else doesn't have the, I don't know, time, energy, knowledge, resources, funds, whatever, they can kind of learn this thing through you. You can crystallize or distill, that's the word, distill that knowledge down and give them the important parts or the parts that could, be useful to them. For example, let's say you are I don't know, a gardener, right? And you learn and document everything about, your gardening journey and all these things that you learn, and your mother-in-law happens to need help with a particular plant. You could send the knowledge that you've gained about that particular plant and give it to her. Another great thing. So you no one has to see this if you don't want them to. This could be a completely personal thing where you're just charting your own growth or making sure you're hitting your goals. That could be a public thing where you put it on social media or YouTube. You could also monetize this. You could put it, I don't know, in a particular community behind a paywall, let's say Patreon or something like that. Um, yeah, so you have so many options, but you don't have to show it to anyone if you don't want to. And on the flip side, if you want to monetize it and show everyone, you can do that as well. And then the last two, benefits. First, it'll, or second to last, it'll help you practice authenticity. Being yourself is something that everyone is attracted to. Like, I don't know how many people love someone that they know is fake, that they know is pretending to be something or someone that they're not. But authenticity, like, authenticity can be hard. It can be hard to be yourself when you do not know yourself. So, doing these progress reports, weekly meetings, accountability meetings, whatever you want to call them for yourself, um, they can help you learn yourself. So then you're able to be yourself more authentically. You're able to practice that authenticity. So, oh, and then the last one is hopefully, and what is done really for me is to inspire you to have not only clarity for yourself, but grace for yourself. Because being authentic, because knowing yourself, all of that is so difficult in the world that we live in. Right now, we always have to be connected, we always have to be online. So when you're listening to everyone and what everyone's doing, it can be difficult to hear yourself. It can be easy to get pulled in a bunch of different directions. It can be easy to suddenly look up and not know where you are and feel like you don't know where you are or where your life is going. So, not only do I hope these videos help you get that clarity, but I hope it inspires you to have some grace for yourself because shit, we're all out here. We're all trying to figure it out. So, like, there's no one that I know of that I've ever heard of who just has it all figured out. We're all figuring it out day to day. So I hope that this can help you figure it out a little more efficiently, a little easier, with a little less struggle, with a little more fun. And hell, even if it doesn't really amount to anything or you don't monetize it or whatever, like maybe you can look back on this with your grandkids. If you're lucky enough to live that long, if you're lucky enough to have them, if you're lucky enough to be consistent or hardworking enough to be consistent in making this content, when you have kids and a family in the future, you can show them this. Or, your progress reports. Or you can show them this too. Okay, and so the structures, like how I'm planning to structure it, how I've structured some of them, how you can structure some of them. This is what I got. First of four is just kind of a vent session or a brainstorm session. Just, this is what I'm going through, or this is what's going on, and this is what, I'm thinking about it, or what I'm trying to do about it, or, how I feel about it, or these are the actions that I'm taking to accomplish this goal, or whatever, right? So that's the first one, like a vent brainstorm session. The second one, pretty similar, is like a strategy planning session. Hey, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm trying to go, and these are the steps I'm going to take to get there, right? Or this is the big goal that I have. This is where I'm at in comparison to this goal, and how do I, plan or chart a way to get there, right? So that's the second one. The third one is something that I've heard of, like I just kind of heard of recently. I actually heard it through like an interview kind of thing that I did recently, but it's called the STAR method. So it's situation, task, action, and result. So, a great way to tell a story, a great way to document an experience and, tell what happened and have a clear structure to that so you don't necessarily, get lost. This would definitely help if you're not a fantastic storyteller, if you're someone who goes on rambles. I may be using the star method. So, yeah. And then the last one is the kind of weekly accountability format. And this one I basically learned or adapted from the 12-week year. If you haven't read that, go read it. Fantastic book. Um, so, how that one would work is what I did last week, um, the scorecard. So, how many tasks you completed versus the total task. And then three is what's working, what's going well. In addition to that, I always also add the, this week's wins because I think it's, definitely important to celebrate, the wins as they come. Four, where I'm struggling. So what problems I'm having, what issues I'm having. Five, the actions, commitments I'm taking to overcome those issues or, continue reaching towards my goal. And then six is just thought capture. If there's anything, any random thoughts, anything that happened the past week or the past since documenting that you just want to capture. All right. All right. So before I get to the lessons I've learned from doing this, I want to tell you what brought it up, like what inspired this, and I'll try to be as brief as I can. First, I've been talking to some people who've had some issues with their jobs, whether it's getting promotions, whether it's the job duties changing, whether it's their pay isn't enough, whether it's that they're getting fired altogether, and thought that this would be a great way or hold that idea. So that's happening. While also, I'm kind of simultaneously seeing like other people, other creators just like pop off, like whether it's social media, like some people on Instagram, people on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, like they're all, or all the people that I've been seeing on this area, they've all been, just popping off and having great success by doing this and being consistent, like making content consistently. And I feel like that's a way to kind of, use this thing to solve this other problem for this thing. And then also, I feel lost sometimes. Like, there's really no way around it. Even though I feel like I have these goals and I'm working towards these things, other things trip you up. There was an Alex Hermosi video that came out recently where he mentioned that like the more you do, the more concentrated you are on your goal, like the more distractions there are. Like there's a woman in a red dress trying to, get your attention to stop you from doing that opportunity to come and do a new opportunity. And every level you go up, the woman in the red dress, man in the red suit, whoever you're into, they get more and more attractive, right? So the opportunities, they get more and more attractive. And I'm kind of noticing that in some areas, like some opportunities are fading away, but other opportunities are happening and they are very, very attractive. But is this what you said you were going to do? You made these goals and you took this time to figure out these goals. So is this aligned with that? Is this going to help you get that or is this a distraction? So help definitely help me to come up with more clarity. Um, Another thing that kind of inspired this was some internet mentors, like some people that I look to on the internet don't know me from a can of paint, but I look to on the internet for like guidance. And so many of them were saying, hey, I wish I had documented things when I got started or in my early stages, or just to see how my thoughts have changed from here to there. Like, I wish I had, taken notes, or I wish I had recorded this. I'm, I'm listening. I'm paying attention, even if, necessarily if it's a flop, even if nobody looks at it but me. I'm paying attention. I'm trying to learn from the mistakes, or learn from the I don't want to say regrets or misfortunes, but just learning from anyone I can, from any way, whether that's from the positive things they did, from the negative things they didn't or couldn't do. I'm trying to learn from all of it. All right. And then lastly, before I give you the lessons that I've learned from doing this consistently, before I do that, first, thanks for staying this long. Be sure to tap that like button, hit the subscribe button, all those good things. Okay, so this is what I've learned from doing this consistently, right? First, I've learned that focus is key, that everything but your goal is a distraction, right? And like I mentioned before, distractions get better the closer you get to clarity, the closer you get to success. And I think this has helped me to not be so distracted. The second lesson I learned is nothing is built overnight. There's no such thing as an overnight success. What really happens is people don't pay attention while you grind consistently, and then when you do so much and so often that people don't help but notice, then you become an overnight success. And I've learned that like it won't work unless you work. So it has to be something that is important and a priority to you, to make sure that you keep doing it. Because this isn't necessarily something that someone else would kind of, this isn't something that someone else would necessarily be doing with you. Well, I mean, I guess you could do this with someone else and then swap the videos. I never really thought about that, but you could do that. But anyway, you're the person who's going to be ultimately holding yourself accountable, whether it's doing these videos or whether it's holding yourself accountable through these videos and looking back. So if you don't put in the work, then it won't work. Also, another great lesson I've learned is it's so much easier to do when you set up as much consistency with it as you possibly can, right? So whether that's creating a specific work environment, or committing a specific time of day, or a specific, amount of time to, sit and do this reflective work, or, create your progress reports, um, it'll make it easier. It'll make it it'll make it easier to be consistent for you. You have that certain time of day, that certain place that you go to do this specific work. Um, yeah, it'll definitely help, not only with consistency, but with getting more clarity. And then the last one is set up a time to review your videos. That sounds like, oh, well, duh. But if you are a content creator, if you're a digital marketer, if you're an entrepreneur, you can get so caught up in the doing. You can get so caught up in the go, 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 that you don't take time to look back and see where you've been, or see if, oh, well, I had this problem a month ago. Maybe there's a more efficient way I could go about it. Like, it's gets harder and harder to get clarity that I really kind of feel like you can only get through self reflection, it gets harder to get that as you go, go, go and try to check as many things off the list or get as many tasks done or, you know, projects as done as possible. So set up a time to review. And as for me, I think I'm going to put my progress reports on a playlist. Yeah, on a YouTube playlist. So if you want to check them out, click on this video here.